actually how I thank you so much for all of you coming out. You know, I never realized I had so many friends. It reminds me of the Ice Bucket Challenge. Were you around for that?
Yeah.
That we did last year. I mean, I sent out an email and I said, hey, you know, I'm going to do the Ice Bucket Challenge. I'd like everyone to participate. You know, if you're interested, if you could help me out and come and dump a glass of ice water on my head, you know, that would be great. And then all of my friends came. Friends I didn't even know I had showed up just to help me out and dump ice water on my head. This is awesome to see all of you here. But it's been quite a journey though. You know, it's been quite a journey. I moved here in April of 2003. And it actually started about 6 months before that, when it was October 10th, 2002, and I got laid off from my job. Oh, that was horrible. I know some of you have been through that. But that was the one and only time that it happened to me. And I got to tell you, I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. So I went home. Naturally, I went to my Franklin Day planner. And in the back was the list of names of friends. And I started with the A's. Well, guess who the first name was that I came to? So I called up Aki and I said, Aki, this is awful, I got laid off. And she goes, well, you know, we have jobs down here in Virginia, Eddie. And I go, well, that's nice, Aki, good for you. And you know, why would I ever leave Boston? And that was the end of that. Well, 6 months later, you know, still out of work, my divorce is going through, my kids are growing up and moved away, and I get one more call from Aki. It says, well, you know, Eddie, we got one job left here in Virginia. What do you think? And I said, I love Virginia. What do you think? And the next day I sent my resume, the next day I had a phone interview, the next day I had a job, and 2 weeks later I was here. So doors just opened, and it turned out to be such a great thing. So I started out in testing, doing that because that's what I knew, and that's what I really enjoyed doing. And then 2 years later, the training position opened up. And you know, I'm always envious of people who know what they want to do when they grow up, right from an early age. You know, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a scientist, I want to be this. Because I had no clue what I wanted to do when I was growing up. And it wasn't until I started working and doing testing that I realized, hey, when there's a new person who's starting in the department, I want to be the one to train them, you know? It made me feel good, like I was helping somebody, but even more important, they had to sit there and listen to me talk. They had no choice. So what a great career to get into. And so when the opportunity came to work with Kathy and her team, I transitioned over and moved here. And what a trip it's been. I got to tell you, trainers, they're a different breed. They're different from everybody else. They're not like you are. Trainers are their own special group of people. But if you think about it, what we do is, it's not easy to do. You know, to stand up in front of a group of strange people and talk to them. I mean, some people, that's their number one fear in life. The fear of death is two, the fear of speaking in public is one. It's not easy. And it's more than a job, it becomes a, you bond with them. You know, it's because when you go out when you're doing a class or you're going out on a Tiger Team trip, and you have to be at the port at 4 in the morning. Where's Arthur? Yeah, it's like you have to be there, you know. And we count on each other to do these things. We count on each other during a training class to have each other's back, because something always goes wrong. You can prepare and practice, do dry runs, but the day of the training, something strange is going to happen, and you need each other to be there. So if you've been on Tiger Team trips, you know that when you go out, when you get away from the office and go on these trips, you form a bond with those people, and that definitely has happened in training. So it's been so great working with the training folks. But you know, it's what I realized in going on the Tiger Team trips is that what we do is so important. What we do is so important. I mean, you're out there and you stand in the vehicle primary lane standing next to an officer, a car rolls up. You don't know who's in that car, okay? Person could be armed and dangerous, they could have a weapon, it could be drugs in the gas tank, or people hiding in the trunk. And that you realize that in some small way, you're helping this officer use the system that's going to maybe catch a bad guy. And it really reinforces that. And it makes you realize what you think is important. I mean, you watch the news, you know, you go and, oh, in Dallas yesterday they started fingerprinting foreign nationals. Well, no kidding, I was there, I saw it, I trained them on it. Or drug traffickers, or now with terrorist attacks. I know that when I see something like that in the news, I'm going to come in the next day and it's going to impact my job. Something's going to change that will affect me. It makes you feel important. I mean, I've had lots of jobs, and with the big insurance company, it was great. It was a paycheck, and it helped me to support my family, raise my kids, and for that I'm grateful. But it made the shareholders a little richer. Well, that's nice. But I get to work here where we really make a difference. You know, what we do is important, and we're helping to protect our future. So, training is a great place to work, and passenger systems is a great place to work. Like all great places to work, it starts at the top, and it starts with Valerie, and then Ken and Aki, and then to my immediate team, Kathy. And so let me talk just for a minute about Kathy Steele. Kathy Steele, she could right now go around. Not only does she know your name, she knows the name of your spouse if you're married. If you have any kids, she knows their names, when they were born, how old they are, and the dates of birth. And I've seen this happen. It's like, you know, Diana Nil. I'm with Kathy. Diana comes up. Diana, I haven't seen you in 4 years. How you doing? How's little Johnny and Susie? Oh, they must be 12 and 9 now. What's that, like 6th grade and 4th grade? February and March, is that it? I mean, you're not able to do that unless you really care. And how lucky for me and Bill to have a boss like that. I mean, I know Bill appreciates it because Kathy will come over and say, hey, Bill, special day today, right? And Bill goes, yeah. No, it's your wedding anniversary. Oh, yeah. You know, he's on the phone 2 minutes later, ordering flowers. Or, little Mitch's birthday today. Yeah, that's right. So, and when you think of Kathy, you know, you think, oh, what a nice lady, and isn't she kind and caring and wonderful? And all of that is true. That's the Kathy part of the name. The other part of the name is Steele. And that is true also. In the best possible way. That is that Kathy knows what an important job it is that we do. And she wants to make sure that whatever training documentation or training material goes out to the officers, that it's quality, that it's done right. Because says that training is the bridge between the system and the officer. So without that, you can build the greatest systems in the world, but if the officers don't know how to use it right, they might miss something and some bad guy will get in. So she makes sure that the work that goes out of training is done right. And for that, we're very grateful. And Bill, he talked about the ISFJ versus ENTP thing. And something will happen, and I'll go, oh my God, no, this is awful. And he'll go, yeah, this is great. What an adventure. And it's like, so we complement each other. It doesn't make it easy for Kathy. So it's a great place to work. Well, if it's such a great place to work, why am I leaving? Yes. Well, there's only one reason that I'm leaving, and that is family. And you know, I moved here in 2003, so I've been here 12 years. Now my grandson is 11. That means that he has never known Grandpa to be around for more than a couple days, a weekend at a time, sometimes a week. I want to fix that. Mom's getting old, she needs help. That shouldn't be, I want to be there for that. So I'm moving, I feel like I'm moving towards something. Well, unfortunately, what it also means is I'm moving away from my family here in China. And that would be Aki and Clyde David, and Steve, and Joe. And I got to tell you, if you move someplace where you only know one person, you want it to be academic. Trust me. Acad's become my family here, and that is by far the hardest part. But, you know, people from Boston, it may take us a while to warm up to you, but once we do, you're stuck with us. You know, we're friends, you know, so that is not going to change. So, you know, it's funny, isn't it, how something can happen and you think, oh, this is one of the worst things that could ever happen to me. And then later on, you realize that it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And that's how I feel about October 10th, 2002. At the time, it was terrible, but without that, I wouldn't have had a chance to come here. And it's given me 12 years to reinvent myself. I get a second chance at life. If I come to a place where nobody knows me, I get to start all over again. Nobody, well, knew about all the boxes on the head and all that until now, but, you know, I get to start all over again. And how many people get, really, a second chance at life like that? And I feel very fortunate that I had that chance. And especially that I got to meet all of you and become friends with all of you, because you really are the best, and I had a really good time. So thank you all very much.